You didn't just click this video, you answered a call, and only certain people even hear that call. If you're here, it means you felt it. That strange sense of déjà vu, that feeling that life keeps repeating itself, different faces, different places, but the same patterns, the same pain, the same inner war that never really ends. And maybe you've asked yourself, why do I always end up here? Why do I keep attracting the same outcomes? Or worse, is something wrong with me? No, you're not broken. You're not unlucky. You're in a loop. And until now, no one told you what that really means. There's a name for this cycle, not just in psychology, but in quantum science. It's called the observer loop. And until you understand how it works, you'll keep repeating your reality, even when you try to change it. But here's the truth. Nobody talks about your reality is not happening. To you, it's happening from you, not your thoughts, not your wishes, but your state of observation, the silent, invisible filter that decides what becomes real. You've likely tried manifestation, affirmations, vision boards, healing work, and yet you're still stuck in the same storyline. This isn't failure, it's feedback. Your life is mirroring the loop. You're unconsciously stuck in the loop you never knew you were, observing into existence. But after today, you'll see it. You'll see the pattern for what it is. You'll learn why your efforts to change keep snapping back. And more importantly, you'll learn how to break it. Because this isn't just theory. This is quantum law. This is how consciousness engineers reality, and how you, without realizing it, became your own prison. So let's begin, not with positive thinking, but with pure awareness. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the loop, you'll know how to step out of it for good. What if I told you the way you look at life is the reason it keeps repeating? Not your decisions, not your past, not even your beliefs, but the lens through which you observe reality. That lens, that's the observer loop. Let me explain at the quantum level. Particles don't exist in a fixed state. They exist in probabilities. Everything is fluid till something observes it. Observation collapses possibility into reality. That's not spiritual fluff. That's hard quantum physics. Now, here's the twist. You are the observer, and every second of your life, you're collapsing probabilities into patterns based on how you expect the world to be. Not consciously, but from deep within your subconscious. From your identity, from your wounds, from the internal programs running in silence. You expect struggle, you observe through fear, you predict disappointment, and so that's exactly what gets created. Not because you deserve it, but because you're caught in an energetic loop. This loop forms early. Maybe you were abandoned, rejected, ignored, or told the world was dangerous, so your consciousness formed a lens to survive. And that lens became your reality generator. It told the quantum field, this is how things are. And the field simply agreed. Here's what's wild. Even if you change your circumstances, that lens still broadcasts the same frequency. So even in new relationships, new jobs, new cities, you'll end up in the same loop. Because the loop isn't out there, it's in here. It's how you observe life, not what you do in it. You're not attracting pain. You're observing it into existence. Over and over again. And until you change the observer, you can't change the observed. That's the observer loop. And most people never escape it. They keep looking for new tools, new affirmations, new hacks, but nothing works because the core observer hasn't shifted. So they stay stuck in a spiritual feedback loop, wishing for change, but unknowingly reinforcing the old story. But now, an awareness changes everything, because the moment you start watching your observation self, you begin to exit the loop. Let's get deeper. You don't just see reality, you create it the moment you observe it. That's not a metaphor, it's physics. In quantum experiments, particles act differently when they're being observed. They shift from waves, infinite possibilities, to fixed particles, a single outcome, just because someone is watching. That's what you do every second of every day. You're not living in the world. You're living in the version of the world you've chosen to observe. And most of us are doing it unconsciously. We observe life through our pain, our trauma, our past disappointments, and our nervous systems keep looking for confirmation of what we already believe. If you believe love is dangerous, you'll see threats where there are none. If you believe success is for others, you'll sabotage your own growth. If you believe life is hard, you'll ignore the easy path and choose struggle without realizing it. Why? Because your subconscious is observing for familiarity. It's not truth. It's collapsing quantum possibilities into what feels normal, even if that normal is misery. And that's the trap. We think we're reacting to reality, but we're actually creating it with every observation. Here's an example. Imagine walking into a room full of strangers. If you observe the room as cold, hostile, and judgmental, you'll act tense, and the room will respond with tension. You'll walk away thinking, see, I knew they didn't like me. But it wasn't their dislike that shaped the experience. It was your observation. Flip the observation, and the entire reality changes. This is why some people walk into a space and light it up, while others shrink and disappear. It's not charisma. It's not luck. It's how they observe, their consciousness, specs connection, and so it's created. This is true for money, health, opportunities, even time. When you observe life through scarcity, you create lack. When you observe through trust, you'll open flow. When you observe through love, you receive it in return, because the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you're being as you look. So if you want to change your world, you don't force it. You don't chase it. You observe differently. You begin by watching the way you've been watching. You say, I see the lens now. I see how I collapse fear into reality, but I don't have to do that anymore. And in that moment, a new version of reality begins to form, not in the future, right now. That's the real power. So now, the big question, how do you break the loop? How do you shift from unconscious observation to conscious creation? It starts with something deceptively simple, something overlooked by most. Pause. The first step out of the loop is the pause. Not a dramatic change, not a giant leap, but one quiet moment where you interrupt the pattern. The moment you feel yourself spiraling, pause. The moment you catch that old fear, pause. When the trigger hits, when the voice in your head starts yelling, just pause. Because in that pause, you become the observer of the observer. And that's where freedom begins. You step back from the emotion. You step back from the story. You step back from the collapse. And suddenly, you're not inside the loop anymore. You're watching it. You're seeing how it pulls you, how it feeds on your automatic reactions, how it survives by keeping you asleep. But in awareness, the loop loses power. Here's the truth. The loop isn't broken by doing. It's broken by not doing, by refusing to run the same emotional program again. This isn't about resisting your feelings. It's about feeling them fully, but not obeying them. It's about becoming the space between stimulus and response. That space is where the quantum shift begins. And as you master this space, you'll start to notice the old reality glitch. The conversation that would have triggered you. It passes through you, the person who once held power over you. They lose their grip. The thoughts that used to define your day, they float like clouds, no longer anchored to your identity. And the more you practice, the more you start creating new observation patterns. You begin to see yourself differently, others differently, life, self differently. And as the inner observation shifts, the outer world follows, not instantly, but steadily, subtly, powerfully. That single quotes as the essence of the quantum pause. It's not about becoming superhuman. It's about becoming aware of what's been running you and choosing, moment by moment, to no longer feed it. You don't need to fight your past. You don't need to rewrite your entire life. You just need to observe differently, and in doing so, become the architect of your own frequency, the author of your timeline, the one who finally breaks free. Here's the real secret. No one tells you. Reality doesn't change first. You do. Everything outside is a reflection of what's happening inside. But most people try it backwards. They chase money, love, success, thinking that if the outside changes, the inside will finally feel safe. But it never lasts, because the old self, the fearful, doubting, reactive self, is still running the show. So what does transformation really mean? It doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It means shedding the identities that were never truly yours, the ones shaped by trauma, fear, rejection, conditioning. It means returning, not becoming, and this return happens internally, not by force, not by pushing, but by softening. Start by asking yourself, what emotions rule your day? What thoughts loop without your permission? What stories have you unconsciously believed for years? Are they yours, or were they inherited, absorbed from family, society, past pain? Transformation begins with truth, and truth doesn't always feel good at first. It's raw, confronting, honest, but it's also liberating. You begin to see that you're not broken. You've just been operating with outdated code. So now you rewrite the code with new beliefs. I am safe to be seen. I am allowed to succeed. I am worthy now, not later. With new emotional anchors, it's calm instead of chaos, trust instead of tension, love instead of lack. With new energy signatures, you start broadcasting a different signal into the quantum field. And here's what happens. Reality responds. Suddenly, people treat you differently. Opportunities begin to feel magnetized. Old patterns lose their synchronicities increase. Life starts to mirror back your inner change. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. You're no longer reacting from a wounded past. You're creating from a healed. Now, you speak differently. You walk differently. You choose differently, because your energy is different. And when energy shifts, everything shifts. This is transformation, not a moment of change, but a state of being that becomes your new normal. You stop chasing upgrades and start living them. You stop surviving reality and start designing it. Because once your internal world changes, the external world has no choice but to follow. Everything is energy, but not just random. Energy, it's organized, intelligent, precise. Just like your voice has a unique tone, your energy has a unique signature. This signature is constantly broadcasting into the quantum field, a signal made of your thoughts, emotions, intentions, and beliefs. Most people don't realize they're sending out mixed signals all day long. They say they want abundance, but their energy says, I'm not ready, okay? They visualize success, but carry the frequency of self-doubt. Here's the truth. The universe doesn't hear what you say. It feels what you mean, and what you mean deep down is encoded in your frequency. So, what is quantum information? It's the unseen language of reality. It's the vibrational data that shapes how matter behaves. This means your emotions aren't just feelings, they're instructions. Your thoughts aren't just mental noise, they're blueprints. And your beliefs, they are the source code of your experience. Now, here's the key. When your inner frequency becomes coherent, aligned in thought, emotion, and intention, reality bends. Quickly, this is what ancient mystics knew, and quantum physicists now confirm. Consciousness doesn't just influence reality programs. It, and coherence, is the most powerful signal you can send. Think about a laser. It's not more powerful because it has more light. It's powerful because the light is focused and aligned. Your energy works the same way. Scattered energy produces scattered results. Focused Aligned energy produces rapid manifestation. So how do you create coherence? 1. Clarity. Get clear on what you actually want, not what you should want. 2. Emotion. Feel it now. Don't wait. Let your nervous system believe it's already real. 3. Action. Move as if it's done. Choose like the future is certain. This alignment of thought, emotion, and behavior is how you create a signature that the quantum field can respond to fast. But here's what blocks most people. They think they're being clear, but deep down, they're doubting. They want the upgrade, but still carry the wounds. They ask for the miracle, while bracing for the disappointment. This splits the signal, and the field can't respond to split energy. So what's the solution? Stop broadcasting contradictions. Start broadcasting truth. Your truth, not the one filtered through fear, but the one rising from your soul. You are not here to blend in. You are here to transmit. Your energy is a message, and every thought, every emotion, every belief is part of the signal. So ask yourself, what am I transmitting right now? Scarcity or sufficiency? Fear or faith? Limitation or limitlessness? Because the field always answers. Not to your words, to your wavelength. Here's the truth. No one taught you in school. Presence isn't passive. It's powerful. It's how you program the quantum field in real time. When you're fully present, not thinking about the past, not predicting the future, but here, now, you become an open channel for intelligence to move through you. That's why great insights come when you're silent. That's why healing happens when you stop resisting. That's why manifestations accelerate when you stop overthinking. Because presence aligns you with your highest self, the version of you that already knows, already sees, already is. So, what is quantum presence? It's the moment you shift from reacting to creating. From being a passenger in life to becoming the pilot. From unconscious habits to conscious reality engineering. Presence is power, because presence is where all power lives. You can't change what already happened. You can't manipulate what hasn't arrived. But right now, this is your control panel. This is where you collapse infinite timelines to one chosen path. Most people live in delay, waiting for the right time, waiting to be ready, waiting for signs. But here's the glitch in that program. The right time never arrives until you decide it already has. You don't step into the future. You summon to the present. You speak like it's true. You act like it's real. You breathe like it's done. This is conscious creation. It's not about force. It's not about hustle. It's about frequency and intention delivered through awareness. Let's make this practical. Want to change your financial reality? Shift how you feel about money right now. Speak abundance, not lack. Move like someone who expects income, not someone chasing survival. Want to shift a relationship? Stop reacting, start responding. Bring presence into your communication. Be fully there, without the old stories running the show. Want to create impact in the world? Start showing up like your energy already matters, because it does. The quantum field is always listening. Here's what few understand. You're not trying to get to your dream reality. You're bringing that frequency into this moment. And the more present you are, the easier that transmission becomes. Presence eliminates distortion. It quiets the noise. It lets the signal of your future self come through clearly. So if you've been asking, why isn't it working yet? Why am I not manifesting faster? Why do I still feel stuck? Check your presence. Because without presence, your power is scattered. But with presence, you become unstoppable. So let's ask again. What are you being right now? Not what are you planning, wishing, scripting. What are you actually being? Because the quantum field is not responding to your plans. It's responding to your presence. So you've heard the words, be present, trust the process, live your truth. But what does that really look like? To really mean to live quantum. Not just talk about frequency, not just think about manifestation, but to embody the energy, every breath, every thought, every move. This is the art of quantum living, and it begins when you stop performing life and start vibrating it. Let's break it down. 1. You move with intention. Every step you take sends a signal. Are you moving from fear or from trust, from pressure or from presence? Quantum living means you don't wait for proof before believing. You believe, and that belief creates the proof. Most people reverse the process. They wait for evidence. They wait for permission. They wait for the world to change before they do. But quantum creators move first. Their reality shifts because they already have. 2. You speak as if it's already done. Words are not just communication, they're configuration. Your subconscious is always listening. So when you say things like, I'm trying, I hope, maybe someday, you send a message of uncertainty, of delay, of disconnection. But when you say, it's already aligning, I trust the timing, I am that version now, you're speaking from the frequency where it's already true, and the field responds accordingly. 3. You feel what your future feels like. This is the energetic signature that locks in your new reality. Want abundance? Feel safe now. Want love? Feel whole now. Want freedom? Feel grounded now. The quantum field doesn't speak, it's English. It reads vibration. So don't just think your vision. Feel it. Live from it. Let it shape your nervous system. For you, let go of the old identity. Quantum living requires courage because it means releasing who you've always been. The stories, the struggle, the survival mode. You can't carry your old self into a new dimension. So, life feels like it's falling apart. Maybe it's just your old frequency collapsing. Let it go. Let the version of you who had to prove, push, and pretend dissolve, and allow the version who knows, trusts, and receives to take the lead. Here's the paradox of quantum living, right? It's not about doing more. It's about being more aligned, more coherent, more intentional, more tuned in. This isn't about perfect routines or spiritual checklists. It's about authenticity, because coherence isn't created through control. It's created through truth. When every part of you says, yes, this is who I really am, you collapse all resistance. You unify your field, and manifestation becomes inevitable. So ask yourself this: what's one small shift I can make today to live as the version of me who already has it? It might be how you enter a room, how you speak to yourself, what you allow in your space. Quantum living is a series of CRs, microalignments, that compound into massive shifts. The universe is always responding, not to what you say you want, but to who you're consistently being. Take a deep breath. You've made it to the edge of the old world. This is the threshold. Beyond this point, you're no longer looping, you're liberating. No more shrinking to fit in. No more waiting for a sign. No more asking if you're ready. You are the sign. You are ready. You are the possibility you've been searching for. Let's be clear. You're not here to live a slightly better version of the same life. You're here to break the loop entirely, to disrupt old timelines, to collapse outdated identities, to create a reality so aligned it makes no logical sense. It feels like home. And here's the truth most people never hear. You don't have to earn your freedom. You just have to stop arguing for your limitations. Let that sink in. There's nothing left to fix. Because you're not broken, there's nothing left to wait for, because the timing is now. There's nothing left to chase, because what you desire is already tuned to your frequency. Now is the moment to make a decision, not just mentally, but vibrationally. Will you keep broadcasting the frequency of almost, or will you become a match for actualization? Infinite possibilities are real, but only the brave will claim them. Because stepping into them means releasing the stories that kept you safe. It means walking into rooms like you belong there before anyone confirms it. It means choosing your vision over your fear, even when no one understands it yet. This is not about confidence. It's about clarity. Clarity that your desire is divine intelligence in motion. Clarity that if you can imagine it, you're meant to live it. Clarity that if you're still doubting, it's only because the old signal is trying to keep you from activating the new one. But not anymore, because something just shifted. Right now, inside you, you can feel it. A click, a knowing, a quiet certainty, like your soul just whispered, yes, this is it. So let's make this real. Say it out loud or write it below in the comments. I choose my highest timeline now. I am free to receive everything that's already mine. This is your declaration, not just to the universe, but to yourself, that you're done playing small, done replaying the past, done doubting your power. From this moment on, you are the evidence of the quantum field in motion. You are the resonance others will feel when they forget who they are. You are the reminder, the ripple, the revolution. Because when you embody infinite possibility, you don't just change your life, you change the world. And that's not poetry, that's physics. This message reached you, it was meant for you. You've looped long enough. Now you leap.